struck gold. San Francisco 2016. A time and a place unlike any other. It's the Cardinals versus the 49ers on Thursday night. Two teams out west. The Challenge Convention. Innovate. Fighting for a better tomorrow.
As welcome to the Wild West, NFC West that is, for Arizona and San Francisco. Welcome back to Thursday Night Football presented by Bud Light. What kind of game we're going to see here tonight?
Well, I hope it's exciting as always. That's what I'm hoping. The crowd's starting to finally get here. But, you know, I look at the Arizona Cardinals. They won the coin toss. They took the football. I think they're still in a little bit of shock to the fact they're sitting here tonight 1-3. So, Bruce Arians, let's take the ball and get this thing rolling.
All right, so they will indeed receive that opening kickoff. Tonight's Next Gen Stats brought to you by Verizon. Welcome to Verizon LTE Advanced, the Next Gen network. There's Colin Kaepernick tearing the anthem a moment ago, flanked by his teammates Eric Reed along with Eli Harold. So Phil Dawson gets set to kick it.
Look at those uniforms of the 49ers.
Does that give you a little rush of excitement, trying to ID those numbers from this high up?
Yeah, I'm excited about tonight. So moms and dads at home, don't get mad when I call your son the wrong name.
Yes. Let's try this again.
I won't call him any bad names. I'm just might call the wrong.
It's kind of hard to explain, but up here you can't tell the number. So looks like a monitor type game this evening. My friend, get ready to press your face up against that little screen in front of you.
Okay.
You'll be fine. Tommy Spencer, our editorial consultant and spotter, he's feeling a little pressure though.
Yeah,
back
for you.
home here.
Come on,
San Francisco. Yeah, okay. We'll keep us both honest. Here we go. Going to have a return here from the 4 by J.J. Nelson. Got a room too. Look at that nice cut. And all the way out to the 43. So a nice burst to get this thing underway for the Cardinals. And J.J. Nelson, Burbage finally brought him down. 39-yard return.
J.J. Nelson got to find ways to get involved in the game. Last week caught a big pass down the sideline very fast. The one thing they have an abundance of, this Cardinals football team on the offensive side, are fast, good wide receivers.
Well, again, we saw this before. The last time he started, talking about Drew Stanton, it was 2 years ago at St. Louis in a Thursday night game. He would end up getting injured in that game. In what was his 8th start of that season, he went 5-3 in relief of an injured Carson Palmer back then. Here's a first play handoff, and look at David Johnson just driving ahead down to the 49ers 40 and picks up 17.
Well, something you got to worry about here tonight. Upati pulls around, gets a block. Evan Mathis, David Johnson. Well, we met him last night. He's a big dude for a running back in the NFL. Reminds me of Franco Harris when I watch him run. The modern day Franco Harris, but can run and can catch, multi-purpose. I'm not saying he's Le'Veon Bell, but he's really good.
Yep, you said, you remind me of Franco Harris. He said, I've heard of him.
I know, it's terrible.
I had to remember in a few years. Here's Stanton, pass over the head. His first throw was in the direction of Michael Floyd. So 7-5 overall in his 10-year career as a starter. That's gone from Detroit to the Jets to the Colts. And, well, he settled in pretty nicely here as Carson's backup.
Done a good job.
Yep.
Knows the offense well. 5 years with Bruce Arians. It's a very complicated offense. That first throw, they just had a little nerves to it. A lot of fire on the football. That's why he overthrew it.
So he moves Fitzgerald around on 2nd and 10. And they'll go back to Johnson. And there is traffic, as there is in the surrounding areas trying to get to Levi Stadium. No gain. Bruce Arians, two-time NFL Coach of the Year in his 4th year. His team went 13-3 last year. They've already lost as many games as they did all of last regular season.
Yeah, I think last night, you know, he wasn't in a jovial mood, that's to say the least. And I think he's really disappointed. It's the errors they've made, the opportunities. Believe me when I tell you, I watch. The opportunities have been there to make the plays. They're just not doing it this year.
And not winning those last possession games that they had won in the past. Here's Stanton on 3rd and 9. And Wrapped around incomplete. That was Jerron Brown with a couple of 49er defenders around him, including Tremaine Brock.
Jerron Brown on the outside against Tremaine Brock. And they love doing this one-on-one. You give them a chance, they will throw the football deep. As downfield a passing team as you'll see in the NFL, that's the Arizona Cardinals.
So here's the punt by Ryan Quigley. And it's not a great one. Fair caught near the 20, just a 19-yard punt. All right, Gabbert and the 49ers with their first chance coming up. Which can will be the winner. Vote now at NFL.com/Bud Light. So from the 20, the 1-3 49ers. First snap, going to be a pass play here for Gabbert. And he goes down the field and overthrows an open man. Garrett Selleck was right there for about a 20-yard gain.
Gave him a little dose of the Arizona offense, kind of a little bunch route, and Selleck wide open. Just not enough touch on that football by Blaine Gabbert.
Gabbert, this is his 40th career start. 10th overall pick back in 2011 by Jacksonville. Struggled there. There's a handoff. Hyde is backed up. He is walloped quickly by Chandler Jones. Loss of 1.
Chandler Jones, watch him tonight. That time he was at the right defensive end or outside linebacker. He plays everywhere. They're going to move him around. Why? So you can't find out where he is, the double teaming and all those things. He's their best pass rusher. They need him to make an impact. That's why they move him around.
So 3rd and 11.
51. Hurry, let's go.
Here comes a blitz. Gabbert with pressure on. The pass by Gabbert is knocked down. Matthew is there to deny Curley.
Well, I was wondering how Tyrann Mathieu was going to do tonight. It's a blitz, safety in the middle. They do this more than anybody in the NFL. Yeah, he couldn't get enough on it, but still the throw was there. Should have been caught. It was going to be short of a first down. And Tyrann Mathieu be a little story up near the line of scrimmage. They need him up there to blitz, to cover, and really, Jim, to give this team some energy.
That was Alex Okafor who had a hand right there in Gabbert's face. So the punt on its way. And another fair catch at the 38 by John Brown. Pinion, the punter, kicks out with 43 yards, and Stanton ready for a second chance. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by Oikos 000, the official yogurt of the NFL. PlayStation VR powered by PS4. And by Walmart. Save money, live better. The Leapfrogs, the U.S. Navy parachute team, San Diego base, skydiving into the stadium shortly before kickoff tonight. And let's see what the Cardinals are able to do. Again, trying to get it started with a nice run by David Johnson. Beautiful cut that leads to 7. Tomorrow on CBS, you won't believe what one agent can do with a ballpoint pen, a fire extinguisher, and a little imagination. Don't miss the new hit series, MacGyver, tomorrow at 8/7 Central on America's #1 network. Peter Linkoff, the executive producer, got another winner for CBS. MacGyver and Hawaii Five-0 right here on CBS. So 2nd and 3. Each quarterback missing on their first 2 throws, looking for a completion at some point this game. And well, look at Johnson just sliding down the line. And another nice carry, this one for 6 and a first down.
Yeah, just a power run. It's Upati pulling around from the left side and Johnson getting the extra yards. Look, their run game matches their pass game. That's one thing I like about Bruce Arians. They are a power throwing team that goes down the field, it goes deep, and when they run it, they just try to smack you in the face and beat you.
Already 31 yards on 4 carries for David Johnson in his 2nd year out of Northern Iowa. 3rd round pick a year ago. And they're going to ride the hot hand. And he's got 4 more. We've got Tyrann Mathieu mic'd up tonight. Let's listen in.
We gonna rock out today. Yeah, it feels good too. Turn up. Turn up. Turn up. Yeah. I feel like I got to give everything I got today. That's how I feel. That's how we feel today. Money all day.
That's the same handshake you and I were doing.
Exactly, right before we came on.
Hey, he does. He doesn't have to fake energy. He is loaded with it. And that's why they brought him up near the line of scrimmage to maybe infect some of the other defensive players.
2nd and 6. Pass away, but again influenced by the pressure over the head of Johnson and a quick hit by Buffet.
Well, one thing this defense does, when you talk about the San Francisco 49ers, they do a lot, and it can be tough on the quarterback.
Now they had Aaron Lynch rushing in there, Phil, and he's seeing his first action of the season after being suspended the first 4.
Yep. Jim O'Neill, the defensive coordinator, they need Aaron Lynch to get pressure on the quarterback, something they struggle to do. But just like this, everybody's standing up, moving around. They try to confuse you. Quarterback making his first start of the year, it's tough.
3rd and 6. Caught by Fitzgerald. And was that necessary as Will Hoyt tosses down the future Hall of Famer?
Ball start, number 74,
Yep.
offense.
So a flag was down, and Fitz is saying, wait a minute, I had to go through all of that for nothing.
Well, that time it was DJ Humphries, the right tackle, kind of fell backwards. He's nervous. You know, he's really second year, didn't play last year for him, and has struggled a little bit. They have high hopes, #1 draft pick. But he struggled the last couple weeks in pass protection.
Backs him up to a 3rd and 11 from midfield. Niners showing blitz. They rush 4. Pass away and just out of reach for David Johnson. And we'll have our 3rd punt here in the first 4 minutes and 39 seconds.
Favorite play of the Arizona Cardinals, no matter who the receiver is to the outside. If you're playing off coverage, this time it's David Johnson, they run these speed outs. And Bill Cowher's smiling down there because that's the first play he put in his offense in all those years with the Steelers, where Bruce Arians learned it.
Quigley a little better this time. Fair caught by Curley at the 11. 39-yard punt by the former Jet Booter. We haven't had a completed pass. 0 for 6 combined.
Welcome back to Santa Clara. Arizona cornerback Patrick Peterson and the quarterbacks have a little game they play each week. Throw 5 balls into a can. The loser has to dress up, and here is Patrick Peterson with a little tribute to Prince. I think he should wear this for Halloween, Jim, don't you?
It works. It definitely does. And on the keep on the zone read. And it's Gabbard.
Well, last time they ran it, I thought it was there, but the difference is now the NFL, now they're going to hurry up. The safeties, linebackers react so fast, even though there's nobody there. That time Swearinger came up, made a quick tackle.
But a gain of 5. And he's going to take off. He's got a first down and an additional 5 on top of it. Swearinger with the tackle for the 2nd straight play.
Yeah, watch the defense. Nobody watching the quarterback. Really good job. Blaine Gabbert against the Cowboys. Ran it a lot last week. Not for great success, but listen, running a couple more times, that pass rush will slow down even more. Worried about him escaping the pocket.
Of course, Chip Kelly loves to speed it up. He loves to get to the line quickly. No huddle here, and crossed over, complete to Hyde, and he stretches out for another first down. And again, they'll reset in a hurry, but we'll remind you in the meantime, be the first to know your team's news with the CBS Sports app. Get instant updates, expert analysis, highlights, and more. Download the CBS Sports app now.
Well, you know, I talked to James Betcher, the defensive coordinator for Arizona, about this. He goes, look, it's tough. Lining up that's the biggest thing, to make sure you line up properly when they're going fast, because research says there's more mistakes and gives them big plays just because you don't line up right.
And that is Hyde for 4. Now, Chip Kelly, when you go back to what he did with the Eagles in terms of pace of play, look how it got down in 14 and 15 to under 23 seconds between plays. He's averaging about 2 seconds more than that here, getting this 49er franchise acclimated to it. But the Eagles are the slowest, and they're undefeated. They're 3-0
there you go.
This year's edition.
Something about being slow. I've always told you slow is not that bad of a coach.
Well, you carry it well. 2nd and 6.
I was waiting.
You just teed me up there. Gain of 2.
But it is amazing just to talk to the coaches, the adjustments, and there's something that we're going to watch tonight. Chip Kelly, I noticed it last week against Dallas. They had some different formations. They're adding to this offense every week. I've seen their games, and each week you see, oh, that's a new wrinkle. When they put 2 backs in the backfield, hey, it could be options, it could be zone read. They can throw out of it, put people in motion. Makes it tough, really tough, I think, on the linebackers against this offense.
Sean Drone is in on 3rd and 4. Gabbert goes with a second option, and that would have been a first down. Selleck was turning upfield way too soon, and the 49ers, although they changed field position, they'll have to punt. They had good rhythm going until this right here.
Yep, wide open. Blaine Gabbert would have run for the first down. He was going to make it, but he sees a tight end uncovered, and very noticeable. You saw Selleck turn his head away from the football before it got there.
Brad's opinion. And no hang time here, but a favorable bounce. Very favorable. And look at it. Roll out all the way down near the 6. Marcus Cromartie finally touches it, brings it to a halt after a 52-yard effort. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by Nissan. Innovation that excites. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Back here at Levi's Stadium. We've had, now halfway through the first quarter, 4 punts. By my math, we're on pace for 32 punts this evening.
You're such an optimist.
It's going to get better, folks.
There's a penalty. Jermaine Gresham moved.
I will say, though, regarding Arizona.
False start, number 84, offense. Half the distance to the goal. Remains first down.
Carl Cheppers and the crew here. Arizona, the only team in the league that has not scored a point in first quarter action so far this season.
That's tough. You know, listen, when you got the talent that they do on the offensive side, Carson Palmer with the wide receivers, Larry Fitzgerald now inside, good running back.
Carson, who did not make the trip here. Doctors would not allow him to get on the plane. 1st and 13. And the pile is taken out to about the 10. Palmer injured in the 4th quarter of that game against the Rams on Sunday. And then Stanton came in at the end as L.A. won its 3rd straight. You never would have known the Rams would be capable of that after what you saw here week 1, getting thumped by the 49ers. But Carson Palmer, I think if this game had been a Sunday game, would have been playing.
Yeah, well, actually, they even thought that maybe if it was even tomorrow, he might play. So that's good hope, knowing that, hey, if he could have played this Sunday, that he'll be back after this one game.
At home watching, he was not happy he was not allowed to travel with him. Here's Fitzgerald weaving out to about the 15. Give him 5 with that one.
This is what you do when you try to get an offense going, get a young quarterback, not a young quarterback, but a quarterback getting his first real action starting tonight. Drew Stanton, I'm really surprised they didn't start the game with these type of plays just to give him some rhythm, give him confidence, to get that football moving.
Now that's his first completion in 5 throws.
Larry Fitzgerald, we talked about him playing in the slot. He gets to see a lot of passes like that. The closer you are to the quarterback, the greater your chances are of getting that football.
It's a 3rd and 2. Load up the right side. Stanton's looking that way, and he guns it in there. Back to Fitzgerald for the first down. Nice throw. And a gain of 7.
They love these formations when all 3 are together, and they're going to split it, and then Larry Fitzgerald is going to go in between the 2 other receivers. That play, Bruce Arians has run that every year he's been in the NFL. It used to be the tight end would catch that, Jim. Now it's Larry Fitzgerald.
And you look at his numbers against San Francisco last year, 19 catches in the 2 games, 200 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. And a new set of downs as they were pinned inside the 5 and able to get out of there. Now here's Johnson bouncing around, and he's got another big gainer. He's actually picked up now 53 yards on 7 carries here in the first quarter.
Well, Drew Stanton, a little nervous early, man. The high throws always kind of tell you. Then he underthrew one, tried to put too much touch on it. You got Jerron Brown throw it, and then this one just gets away from him. this series. 2 good completions. And the one thing I do like, what I've seen from him, 2 for 6. He's not holding back. He's letting that football go. In other words, he's not guiding it. He trusts himself.
They trust this guy. Not anything open for Johnson into the arms of Quentin Dial. Of course, they lost Chris Johnson this last week with the groin injury. Had to IR him.
Yep.
They got Ellington backing up David Johnson.
That was big. Chris Johnson, last year he came to the Cardinals, hadn't been, they pick him up, and he wasn't the same player we'd seen before. But this year, watching him, before he got hurt, I was like, wow, he's not as fast as he was when he first went to Tennessee, but he was back to being a fast running back.
3 receivers to the left, 2nd and 10, and again, there's Johnson. A couple of cuts, and Bethea meets him at the 39. Saturday, the Home Depot SEC, the best game from the best conference. Joshua Dobbs in Tennessee taking on Trevor Knight and the Aggies of A&M. It all begins with college football today. Tennessee, Texas A&M on CBS.
Well, both teams brought in about 4 different players on each side. The 49ers talked about it. Jim O'Neill, the defensive coordinator. If Aaron Lynch, he's a true pass rusher, but otherwise they create pressure by their blitzing.
6 defensive backs in for the 49ers. 3rd and 5, and Stanton's got time, and that pass was headed back to Fitzgerald. He might not have had enough for the first had he caught it, as Tart was in on the coverage.
Jaquaski Tart, safety, nickelback, line. They do everything, these defensive backs for the San Francisco 49ers. That was the right decision, 2-on-2. He went to Fitzgerald with great coverage.
So Quigley's 3rd punt signed just a week ago. That one stays in the air for a while. And once again, San Francisco will start inside the 20. 45-yard punt, no score.
Watching NFL Thursday Night Football.
People affected by severe weather and other disasters need help now. To support those impacted by disasters like Hurricane Matthew, floods, and countless other crises, text Red Cross to 90999 to give $10 to American Red Cross Disaster Relief. From the 14-16, here's a little dump off pass. Give him 4 to Hyde. And here's the next gen stats presented by Verizon.
The Cardinals, #1 blitzing team in the NFL. Look at those numbers. That's 5 or more pass rushers. Why do they blitz so much? They like to pressure the other team in mistakes. They like that philosophy on defense. They also like it on offense too under Bruce Arians.
20.
Hurry, go. Up the middle. Hyde's best run of the night. Swearinger on his back. Rides it out to about the 30. That's a 10-yard pickup.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of the hesitation that comes from that zone read. Now, it's not always a read. A lot of times these are just automatic gives to the running back. So it's not always up to Blaine Gabbert to put that kind of pressure on him where he's got to read the end. What do I do? Do I keep it, give it? So I'll make enough decisions in the pass game. Can't put it all on the quarterback.
Well, here is Gabbert from the pocket. Down the field, and again, he's too steep with a pass with a wide open target. Rod Streeter. It might have gone for 6.
Yep, really, and usually what happened is the safety that time, Tony Jefferson, went with the crosser, nobody in the middle, and Blaine Gabbert, well, you see the strong arm, but he's going to overthrow sometime. There's no question. We've seen 2 big overthrows here tonight that cost him 2 big plays.
Streeter got away from Marcus Cooper.
Well, Marcus Cooper was expecting somebody to be in the middle of the field, so that wasn't his fault.
2nd and 10. And ridden down. That's Golden quickly on top of Sean Drone. And that's a loss of a couple.
Marcus Golden, number 44, just a tough player. That's what he is. Bull rushing when it comes to trying to get to the quarterback in the pass. Tough against the run. And there's many guys in this defense, Jim, that stay out there a lot of plays. Some of them, Chandler Jones, Minter, they play every play of the game.
3rd and 12, and there they come. And Golden, you just seen the little graphic, has a sack in every game this year, and he was in on that one.
Well, they're taking turns and putting a lot of different people over on Trent Brown. And they make him hesitate just for a second. Boy, there you got a double team on him, and they still miss the assignments, and that's no face mask as far as I can see.
Well, so that was a drive that definitely had a chance to strike gold. Beautiful punt and immediate contact. What a hit by Cromartie. John Brown barely had time to catch this and go, but it was legal. And a 57-yard punt and pummeled immediately. Well, they've had a couple of chances. There was an overthrow, the 49ers on their first possession to Selleck, and then the long ball on this one to Streeter.
When you're a team like they are, you know, you only get so many chances for big plays, and they've had a chance to get 2 drives going, and kind of explains just one of the many reasons why they're 1-3.
Andre Ellington is in at running back as Stanton's looking for the long ball, and it is knocked away. J.J. Nelson, who had that fine opening kickoff return, the speedster, and Brock is shaken up.
Beautiful job at the last second by Brock.
Gets hit by his own teammate here, Phil. Watch.
Yep.
Antoine Bethea.
But Tremaine Brock he didn't panic. You know, when you see these long throws in the air, of course, I never played defensive back, but, you know, you get nervous before the ball gets there. He did not. He just kept running, and at the right time put that left arm out there and made the play.
So Brock able to gather himself and head to the bench for a little examination. Keith Reeser comes in. Ellington remains the running back for a second straight snap. Pick up the blitz. Stanton.
Turn it go! Turn it go!
That's Brown. And dragging Richard Robinson with him for an 11-yard gain and a first.
Yeah, good blitz pickup. That time, watch Ellington come up inside, gets it. Brown going across. Had a big week last week. The other guy that had a big week too is the guy covering him, Robinson. Excellent against the Cowboys.
Well, that's the end of the first quarter, a scoreless quarter. We'll return to Santa Clara after these messages and a word from your local station. Cardinals to the line, second quarter to commence. Jim Nance, Phil Simms, Tracy Wolfson, Jay Feely there. The numbers anemic in the first quarter, and Stanton couldn't get his feet set because here they come, and the flag is out. These teams, of course, meet twice a year.
Holding. Number 31 offense. That penalty's declined. Second down.
Will Hoyt and Ballore in on that sack.
Yeah, Will Hoyt on the outside gets David Johnson and just gives him a little wiggle, goes right around him. David Johnson, of course, oh my gosh, you know, so many people get to the quarterback free, they run into each other, but Bruce Arians was mad last night, still talking about the Hail Mary at the end of the game. He thought they had a chance to hit it, and they missed a blitz pickup by the Rams. You know, they worked on it hard all week, and they missed one there.
2nd and 18. And Stanton's pass in and out of the hands of John Brown. Again, there was pretty good defense there put up by Richard Robinson.
Yeah, very good coverage. Boy, he's impressive when you watch Richard Robinson. You know, he's in there playing in place of Jimmy Ward, and man, you can tell he's tall, long-legged, long arms. Was all over the Dallas receivers when he had a chance last week, and this guy's saying, hey, I'm not just a reserve, I want to be a starter full time.
There's Brock, who set out a couple of plays. He's back in for this 3rd and 18. Underneath, they give it to him for the short gain. to David Johnson. Nick Ballora again starting for Navarro Bowman, who's out for the season with the Achilles. His first NFL start, and he makes that half a sack and a tackle right there to end that series.
And, you know, the defense is going, my gosh, look what we're doing. Offense, take advantage. And, you know, look, I said they're a 1-3 team, the Cardinals. And, you know, you can feel it. You know, they can't believe they're in this situation. So, boy, you get on top of them.
Quigley. No fair catch. But the Cardinals covered up. Curley lost 3 on the return, a 45-yard punt. They've had the chances, this 49ers offense.
Yep, they really have. And, you know, when they get open in the NFL, I'll always say this. When you're wide open, NFL quarterbacks just can't miss. There was the first one to sell it, but this is the one he's really going to be mad about because it's a possible touchdown and just airmails it. Just threw it so hard and it got away from him.
These teams will meet again November 13th down in Glendale, Arizona. But that first quarter that was scoreless, the first time in 24 meetings between these two that they've gone without a first quarter point. Curley with the catch.
Yeah.
I can't believe Curley comes in, learns the system. Now, there were some assistants on the Kelly staff that were very familiar with Jeremy, but he gets signed right before the first game and starts making plays right away.
Yeah, you didn't know he was going to come in here and be the main guy for their passing offense, but that was a very good throw by Blaine Gabbert. That's, man, he could, as Chip Kelly said, the first thing that got him, he was athletic, he's fast, and he has a powerful arm.
Gain of 12, and then going to give one of those back. Loss of a yard. Hyde, the ball carrier. Monday on CBS, don't miss the show. TV Guide calls TV's smartest drama, Scorpion, at its new time, Monday at 10, 9 Central, only CBS.
Back hard. Hurry, let's go.
Second and 11. Gabbert, play action. And he again had an open man. Got a flag out near where the pass was thrown. Gabbert launched it.
You said it, though. Receiver was open.
Billy, use of hands to the face, number 61 offense. Penalties declined. Third down.
They'll turn it down and set up a 3rd and 11.
Andrew Tiller, 61, gets the hands to the face. Pretty evident. Against Chandler Jones. There you go. See Chandler Jones inside that time. I've seen him play both ends. Little defensive tackle. This time he's over the center.
Need to get to the 44 for the first. Here's Gabbert. And he's taken down. They got him low. Calais Campbell will get credit for that sack. And the Boo Birds are out.
Well, he got credit for the sack. 93 coming off here. He just fights his way through. But also Tyrann Mathieu, one of the reasons we talked about him being near the line of scrimmage, so he could blitz. He almost got to Blaine Gabbert also.
Bradley Binion is on the bus. Number 12, John Brown is deep for the Cardinals.
John Brown goes over and catches it at the 20. And the ball's on the ground, but recovered by Arizona. That was Golden with the recovery, just brought up, signed this week, Britton Golden. So, is this the Giants and the Mets of last night when no one could score? Or the Niners and the Cardinals? Second quarter. The Arizona Cardinals has taken the lead. Vote now at NFL.com/Bud Light.
Oh, there's your score. You just said the lead.
There you go.
Man, you are being.
I'm positive.
Comparing this to baseball.
There's a 1-yard gain. They're pumped around here after the Giants won that one to move on to take on Chicago Cubs in the next round, divisional round. Look at the teams last year that were the finalists, if you will, in the NFC, and they're both off to 1-3 starts, Arizona and Carolina.
Yeah, a lot to say. You got to reinvent yourself every year, and however you finish one year doesn't carry over to the next. I never kind of believed that statement. Just shows you how tough the NFL is. And both of those teams have not been sharp.
2nd and 9, and good catch thrown right in there where it had to be, because Reed had tight coverage on Fitzgerald, and that's Larry's 3rd catch.
Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald, we've seen now catch it from the slot. He was outside. We've seen him block a couple times. I have inside where he actually blocks one guy, then leaves him and gets the next as one of the linemen come out to help him. So what a role he has on this offense. Bruce Arians sold him on it, and he is excelling at it.
Johnson trying off left tackle. Hodges there to bring him down at the 40. Arians extending in many ways Larry Fitzgerald's career. As you mentioned how he moved him around, made him a slot receiver. Look at the percentages in the 4 years that Arians has been the coach here.
That's right. Look at the numbers each year, how it keeps going up because they find more ways to use him. And like I said, I think it's invigorated him. He's accepted it. And just like this, moving always in tight formations. Where is he?
2nd and 7. And you saw that move. It only yields about a 2-yard gain for Johnson, but he has some quick jump cuts for a guy that doesn't have blazing speed.
Yes, he does. And we kind of talked about it a little bit last night. He went to Northern Iowa. They didn't know what to do with him. He's going to be a wide receiver, a safety, all this, but he finally goes to running back because of injuries. And he just puts those feet in the ground so hard that he can break tackles because he's solid, and he can make those jump cuts too also because of that running style.
He's all excited. He and his wife expecting their first child at the end of the season. Here's a throw, and it's dropped this time. Fitzgerald would have had the first.
Well, he's wide open. Drew Stanton does get a little pressure, but it's not enough where he shouldn't hit this throw. You get Larry Fitzgerald on a safety. Eric Reed. Football didn't come out cleanly either. For the quarterbacks, it's a rough start for both. Missing open receivers.
Quickly. That's Curley at the 9. And ball is fumbled. 49er falls on it. 47-yard punt. And San Francisco has it. Inside 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. Cromartie recovered it. He was down anyway. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by Mafia 3. Available tomorrow, rated mature. The all-new 3-row Mazda CX-9. And by AARP Real Possibilities. They split out. Hyde for this first down snap taken from the gun. And Gabbert able to sling it in there for a first near the 25 to Curley. And a gain of 13.
Yeah, really good throw over the middle. Anticipates, and what a catch by Jeremy Curley to his back shoulder, just snatched it out of the air.
Curley's second catch. Gabbert 4 out of 9 for 39 yards. And that was the Niners' longest play thus far. Almost a quarter and a half in. They go to Hyde. And that's right into Chandler Jones. We heard the frustration from the fans here at the end of that last series. And Kaepernick, I even heard a few people calling for Kaepernick to get into the game.
I did too. I heard it the first overthrow to Selleck when he was open. But, hey, it was a big argument between Deion Sanders and Bill Cowher in the pregame. But in my mind, no question, the most qualified guy right now to be the quarterback, that man right there.
Gabbert connects with Curley.
I mean, and we said it all during the pregame. Watch the throw to the outside. You see his arm strength right on target. But you've heard it. 3 surgeries for Kaepernick during the offseason. no off-season training, missed training camp because of a sore arm. I'm not saying he won't play this year. It's just not going to be right away.
Oh, look at Gabbert. Almost taken down, and he's able to turn a sack into a pickup of a couple. Yeah, there's a lot of folks saying, wait a minute, Blaine Gabbert and you got Kaepernick on the bench. I remember Kaepernick taking this team to a Super Bowl, to another NFC Championship game. How come he's not backing up? How come he's not starting?
That day's over. That team is gone. That quarterback is gone. So people get over it. You know, that offense he ran, it's not the same offense you can do in the NFL right now. You know, and I'll just say this too. Kaepernick is not the backup because he took the knee during the national anthem. I followed him all preseason. Knew a lot about it. Blaine Gabbert outperformed him in practice every day. That's why I got the lead started.
Look at that tackle as Jones drives him back after a pickup of 5. And he's lost a lot of weight. You talked about the surgeries.
Yeah, he did. He's lost near 20 pounds. I can see it in him, but I will say this now. Everybody's talking about all these things. I watched him in practice yesterday, and I watched him warm up tonight. Now, he can still throw that ball. I mean, he can let it go. So
you always loved his arm.
I've always loved it. And look, they're not a great team. Sooner or later, there's going to be unrest. He'll get his chance. He's got to be ready when it comes.
3rd and 1. Gabbert may take off here. He picks up the first down, and he's inside the 40.
And this is what you don't understand about Blaine Gabbert. You know, everybody talks about him like he's just terrible. He's not. We've seen the arm strength. He's missed open guys, but he can really run. At the NFL Combine, if that counts, he ran a 4.5. Pretty fast, Jim Nance.
And what did Chip Kelly say when he first saw Gabbert? He said, no, I didn't try to recruit him. I was at Oregon when he came into the league, so I really hadn't scouted him. He was shocked by his athleticism. And now he throws it down to the 15-yard line.
Wow.
Curley with another catch.
They like him now. And that is a tremendous throw right down the middle of the field against Tyrann Mathieu. And there's just nothing you can do. The speed of the football, the location, the receiver can protect himself from the defensive back from knocking the pass down.
So a drive that began back at their own 13 has now advanced to the 14 of the Cardinals.
See, all you needed was for us to start talking about it.
And then all of a sudden,
with such good luck,
the Niners start getting it going here on offense. There's Hyde spinning out of a tackle. And he's got 2, maybe 3. People still, though, look at Gabbert as the guy that at Jacksonville was taken with that 10th overall pick.
Yes.
And lost a bunch of games at the beginning of his career as a starter.
There's been many quarterbacks in this league that have failed with one team and then found the right team to have success.
2nd and 8. Another 3 or 4 yards picked up by Hyde. Sunday at 9 on NFL Network. A look ahead to the return of Tom Brady and his motivation when he gets back on the field. NFL Game Day morning, Sunday at 9 a.m. live on NFL Network. Of course, we're going to have that game in our early window. New England at Cleveland on our doubleheader day on Sunday. But here's Gabbert, 6 years in the league. He's had 6 offensive coordinators and 7 head coaches. How do you have a chance?
Hard to settle into a system, no question about that. I mean,
Faces a 3rd and 5. Got his man, and it's a touchdown for San Francisco. Jeremy Curley, big part of that drive, finishes it off. And the Niners the first to put points on the board this evening.
Well, watch number 17 coming out, and it's just a good play design where Selleck and Curley both release up the field, and it's just a natural pick. They get in the way of each other so nobody could get off and get away from Selleck to cover Jeremy Curley. And that's what you need when you get down near the goal line. You need deception. You need something to make the defense stay back. Great play design that time by Chip Kelly.
Dawson out for the extra point, and he converts it. Gabbert was 4 for 4 on that drive. All 4 passes to Jeremy Curley. They drive it 87 yards. Put up the touchdown. Jeremy Curley, last season with the Jets, had 16 receptions on the season. Now up to 23 in week 5 for the 49ers, already matching his touchdown total with the Jets last year. He was in camp this season with Detroit, was a final cut, and then the 49ers picked him up. The kick from the 10-yard line, returned by Nelson. And they're going to start it.
Jeremy Curley found his place, Jim, right here.
Yes, he did. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by Subway Restaurants. Search for better. And by the Lincoln Motor Company as you look at Alcatraz. The Rock. Stanton can swing it over to Johnson. 2 Niners wait for him. And he's taken down by Ballore. Gain of 4.
Well, how do you get uncovered in the NFL? Here's how. Watch Tyrann Mathieu coming across. Here comes Jeremy Curley out in the flat, and he runs into his own guy. So that's tough. When they cross the formations, well, you got to hustle to almost get in front of the wide receiver as he's going across to make sure situations like that don't happen.
2nd and 6. Stanton now. He's going to heave it down the field. And unable to hold on is Brown. Coming off a huge game. John Brown, 10 catches, 144 against the Rams. Next Thursday, Phil, your weekend starts here. We're going to actually not be here, but down the coast in San Diego. Chargers playing host to the Denver Broncos. That's next Thursday night as we kick off week 6. Broncos are undefeated right now. Chargers could have been. I've never seen a team that had so many different ways to lose in the end. Got a timeout signal by the 49ers. Yeah, the Chargers would be 4-0 if games were only 58 minutes long. We'll have them next week. Coming up next, it's the Lexus halftime report. JB, Coach Coward, Dion breaking down the first half action coming up on the Lexus halftime report. So 3:22 to go in the first half. Cardinals with 97 yards of offense so far. And a 3rd and 6, and from behind he's able to shrug it off and get it away, but Floyd bobbled it.
Well, this says it all about this team.
Michael Floyd having a real struggle at the start of the season.
Yeah, he was brought up last night, missed a couple passes last week. And Stanton, what a good job. Just hangs in there, which you always got to do if you quarterback for Bruce Arians. Wide open against the zone. Michael Floyd drops it.
Quigley, his 6th punt. And there's Curley fielding it at the 25. 49ers have a couple of timeouts. 3 minutes to go. So 48 consecutive games they've scored in the first half. The Cardinals, the longest active streak of scoring in the first half in the league. And that's in jeopardy.
Well, here we go. Let's see what this looks like as we see the Tyrann Mathieu get picked as we go 360 all the way around. And man, it's a good look if you're a San Francisco 49er fan.
That was CBS's 360 eye vision giving you a look at that touchdown. It's all we have on the board so far, but the Niners went 87 yards the last time they had it, and Carlos Hyde within the belly of that line for another 6. That's 10 carries for 31 yards.
A really good push that time by Kilgore, the center, and Andrew Tiller. And you know, the 1-3 record of the Arizona Cardinals, we're seeing why. Mistakes on defense, drop passes, missed open receivers. That have been their season so far.
2nd and 4. Battling straight ahead, taking on Cooper. Hyde picks up the first down and flexes those biceps after a gain of 7. That's going to be a taunting call.
Yep.
It's going to take away that great effort he made. He's going to just return it, plus additional yardage.
I was going to say, boy, showing toughness, kind of taking the fight to Arizona, saying you letting them know what they're in for.
After the play was over, taunting, number 28 offense. That's his first foul of this nature with regard to disqualification. It'll be first down after enforcement of the 15-yard penalty.
So he picks up 7 and a first and then gives back 15. It'll still be a 1st and 10, but they'll take this next snap from the 24.
Tom Rathman talking to him. Look, you can do it. You just can't do it in front of the face of the other guy. And I love all this. Oh, people love this stuff. Hey, where does it end? Where do you draw the line of celebrations, taunting, and all that? So they made this rule. They're throwing the flags on everybody, and you just got to know you can't demonstrate like that during the game.
First penalty of the game in San Francisco. Just a little too high. Going for Torrey Smith, targeting him for the first time tonight.
Yeah, first time against Patrick Peterson. Patrick Peterson, it's a wonder he can keep his head in the game sometimes, because he sits out there and there's 20 passes thrown. He goes, wouldn't somebody go throw one my way?
Right.
But had a chance, had to throw it low and inside.
Dion used to face that in his day. Speaking of 21s. And that's, again, no gain. As Hyde's brought down by Minter. We've reached a 2-minute warning. Third down snap coming up out of it. Niners lead it 7-0. 1:55 to go in the second quarter, and the 49ers lead it 7-0. Got a 3rd and 10 from their own 24. Pick up the blitz, and the ball is batted in the air and intercepted. Campbell has hold of it, and the Cardinals get their first break of the night.
It was a blitz. Calais Campbell, big, knew he couldn't get to the quarterback, so he's watching Blaine Gabbert. Watch 93. Here comes the blitz. It's picked up. He squares up. He watches Gabbert. Then gets the deflection for the interception.
It's Ahmad Brooks who got a hand on it. I beg your pardon. It was Jones, Chandler Jones. And Campbell with a heads up.
Yep. Interception,
Grab
has a sack.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys, one of those players, I said, Jim, that does not come off the field. For as big as he is, that's asking a lot, but good night tonight for him.
From the 21. Pump fake, going for it. Stanton has Fitzgerald for the touchdown. One play to convert off the takeaway. And an extra point away from tying this game.
Little double move. Really good job by Stanton. Looking to the inside. Fitzgerald talked about it on the outside. Watch him come inside. Brock's going for inside. Fitzgerald, quick stop, goes back out.
Larry Fitzgerald has more touchdown receptions than anybody ever against the 49ers franchise. That's his 15th and his 102nd career touchdown. Extra point is good. Cannizzaro ties it at 7. Stanton with the quick strike off the interception. Well, the great Lenny Moore, the most touchdowns all time against the 49ers, but as far as just receptions, Fitzgerald now number 15 in his career against San Francisco.
Well, a couple of times he's gone across the middle on that exact route, and they've been all over and then knocked it down. So I said, okay, if you want to play it that hard, they gave him a double move. That's why it was wide open. So that's what helps when you go over there and look at those still pictures on the tablets. You see the techniques of defensive backs or what people are doing, and you adjust. Good adjustment by the Cardinals.
And again, credit Chandler Jones for batting that ball in the air that led to the pick. And one play later, touchdown. One other accolade to take note of for Larry Fitzgerald, the 100 touchdown reception club. Marvin Harrison, Antonio Gates, Steve Largent, right on the number. That's all with one team, of course. You're saying, well, where's Jerry Rice? Well, Rice played with the Raiders at the end of his career.
It's a little bit of what they do now, especially when they get near the goal line. It's got a little Jerry Rice look to it where they move him around. And remember, see Jerry Rice going back and forth behind the formation, be wide open.
Gabbert breaks out of the pocket. Now part of bounds, swinging it. Goes out of bounds. Picked up a yard. Lexus halftime report on the way with James Brown, Bill Cowher, Deion Sanders, their first half highlights and analysis. Lexus halftime report.
Deion had a couple good conversations in the pregame show. Can't wait to hear what they have to say at halftime.
2nd and 9, almost tripping up, but Gabbert takes off again. And that's Campbell who got him by the ankles. Let's see how people manage timeouts here with the clock running. Timeout called by Arizona. Arizona thinking it might have a chance to do a little business before the intermission. Calling that timeout with 1:24 to go.
Well, what it did, it just puts this offense in a situation, I think, where they got to pass the football, of course, and try to pick up the first down.
Can he get out of trouble? No, he is sacked back at the 18. And Marcus Golden in on the quarterback again, along with Alex Okafor. Timeout called by Arizona. 49ers. John Brown thinks about cutting right and dives ahead. About the 43, so excellent starting point here for Stanton and Arizona. With about a minute to go in the half, here's Tyrann Mathieu a moment ago.
We got to get off the field. That was my pick right there.
Yeah, he's talking.
He was going to throw it right to me.
He was talking about the ball that was batted in the air.
We got to get one more.
Yeah, he says he would have made the pick.
Yeah, he was close. I don't know if he'd made the pick, but he was right on it. But you said it earlier, Marcus Golden, the defensive coordinator, James Betcher, doing a good job of moving his guys around to make plays. Golden, Chandler Jones.
Stanton, pressure from the edges. He was able to get away from it. Now on the run, able to throw it away. What do you think of Stanton's play? 7 of 17, 61 yards and a touchdown.
Well, when he had the opportunity to hit the touchdown, that was great. And it's a little bit of everything. He's missed some guys, had a couple drops. You know, I thought he threw that long one down the sideline, the one drive where John Brown really had a chance to catch it. Brock never saw the football, but Cardinals just not making enough of those plays that we are accustomed to seeing, especially what we saw last year.
2nd and 10. Before he gets hit, he had an open target. John Brown.
Off the edge, it's a blitz coming from the top. Jaquaski Tart, number 29. Really good blitzer, very physical player. Plays up near the line of scrimmage, can tackle. We see him covering wide receivers, covered the tight end some last week against Dallas.
Arizona leads the NFL. They can't score in the first quarter so far through 5 games, but they're #1 in the league in scoring in the last 2 minutes of the first half. They've already put up a touchdown, in fact, tonight. At 35 on the season in the last 2 minutes. Dangerous throw in the direction of Brown, Jerron Brown, and Arizona unable to do anything with it.
Well, you know, watch the rush. Here comes the outside again. We got a blitz, but they wall it off. But, man, Drew Stanton almost made a huge mistake trying to make a play across the field that was covered. He knows it. Got away with one.
12th punt of the night. That's well done. Forces Curley to grab hold of it with a fair catch at the 14. Who would have believed after week 1 that the Rams would rebound with 3 straight victories? Tight ones, but they're wins. 3 straight wins by 6 or less. The Seahawks starting to put up points. That was a struggle the first 2 weeks. They're 3-1. The 49ers at 1-3, as is Arizona with all the giveaways over the last 2 games.
Hey, listen, we see it every week. When we going to learn? You can't predict. We've already kind of talked about it, how 1 year it just changes the next.
Last weekend, one of the wackiest, though, in a long time. Some of the results: Rams winning at Arizona, Buffalo at New England, and the 49ers will elect not to just take a snap and run out the clock here in the half. Gabbert throws. Well, 32 seconds to go.
Arizona has 1 timeout. If you want to go for it, then I always say, what? Run a draw, maybe throw a screen. But me, after the way this second half has ended, I would have taken a knee and got out of there.
Well, they're not going to. Well, maybe they will, but they go shotgun. And they go Brown. Hyde flies straight ahead out to about the 24. And no one anxious to spend any timeouts here. And, well, look at him. Gabbert says, let's try to do something with it. 3rd and 2. First down with just seconds to go.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that either. I would have.
Well, the risk you run there is if you didn't pick up the first.
They're going to call timeout, and you got to punt it.
You got to punt it and risk possible block or even a free kick, maybe catch at the other end. You never know.
That's right.
But now they run it out on a 7-7 ball game. Tracy, down to you.
Thanks a lot, Coach. You had the lead, but the taunting penalty, the interception, the sack. How do you get back to what you need to do in the second half?
It's 7-7. It's a 0-0 ball game. You know, we've moved the ball on them, and we've had success doing it. You know, the penalty hurt us. We talked about it before. We know that's an emphasis in the league. Just can't do that. And then, you know, it was a tip pass. You know, so they made a good play on it, and they came back and scored 1 play later. So we had to go back in. I think we're doing some good things on offense. Our defense is playing well. We just got to finish this.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
We'll be back with the Lexus halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching Thursday Night Football. 7-7 the score out here in California.
Keep on dancing and the rhythm gets hot. You drive us wild, we'll drive you crazy.
Here's Gabbert, and he's taken down. Got his man, and it's a touchdown. Going for it. Fitzgerald for the touchdown. 7-7 the score as we get set for the third quarter. 49ers will be receiving that third quarter kick. Let's take a look at the right combination from the first half presented by State Farm. And it's the Stanton to Fitzgerald combination. What do you take away from that first half there?
I thought it was exciting. I really did. I mean, I'm not saying it was beautiful, but it was exciting because we didn't know what was going to happen. Nobody could make a play, and I think Dion hit it right. When you look at the San Francisco 49ers, if Blaine Gabbert couldn't run, the protection's not there, and Jeremy Curley, the only guy that's getting open.
Jeremy Curley with the touchdown catch for the 49ers in that first half.
So you don't agree with me? You didn't think it was, it was kind of exciting in a different kind of way.
There were 12 punts in the first half. I hate to keep referring to that, but
Jay Feely loved that.
Yeah, no question.
He thinks it's all about special team guys anyway.
Curley 5 catches, 75 and a touchdown.
Doing a really good job going against Tyrann Matthew tonight.
Bounces at the 6, one hop into the arms of Chris Davis. And he lost the football, and Arizona falls on it. He got stripped. What a thing to happen here. Moma with the recovery to open up the third quarter. Moma with the strip and the recovery. The backup tight end, Afani Moma.
Right? The perfect kick, too. Kicked it down there where the football hit short, had good hang time. Davis felt like he had to bring it out.
Go!
Davis of Auburn fame and the missed field goal return that'll never be forgotten down there. And dropping Johnson for a 2-yard loss is Ballore. Let's hear from Tracy. Halftime report. Tracy.
Well, Jim, Bruce Arians extremely concerned with the third down efficiency, just 1 for 8. But as for Drew Stanton, he said he is just going way too fast. He says he needs to slow down. His receivers just can't get open that quickly. He also said that they have to work hard and they have to play hard because they haven't won the close games down the stretch. Jim?
Arians told us his confidence level with Stanton, I've got a ton. It's Johnson. Early contact and just gets back to the 15. Eric Reed comes up to wrap him up. First half numbers, the 1 turnover on the batted ball leading to the touchdown the very next play for the Cardinals. And there you see a combined 4 of 17 for these teams, third down. And it's 3rd and long for Arians in Arizona. What can they do with the Davis fumble? Look at this formation.
Yep. Tight formation to try to confuse them.
They go to the ground. Johnson getting some pushing from behind forward by Fitzgerald. And he's going to be stopped well short of the first. So field goal time coming up.
Safe play. What they did that bunch formation, 3 guys to the left. They ran out of the huddle, lined up real quick, hoping to catch them where they didn't line up San Francisco where they could get outside and get an easy touchdown. San Francisco was alert, made the play.
3 running plays by Johnson. That surprised you at all, including the 3rd down?
Well, 3rd down tells me a lot about what this offense has been doing. He says, I tried to catch him with a trick play or something different. Didn't want to put it in the hands of his quarterback.
Chandler Cannonzaro at the field goal kick, and it is good. And flag out. It was from 26. And remember, it was 4th and 4. And if it's offsides against the 49ers, it'll be a first down.
Well, they're going to take the first down. There's no question if it's
running into the kicker, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Rashard Robinson, number 33, came around the edge. In fact, he got just pushed just enough to make his arc a little wider. Put him in a spot where he's still laid out.
So a ball placed at the 4.
Well, I think this game's going to come down to who can make the less mistakes. And
so far,
San Francisco's just piling them on now.
No question. Johnson off the right side and slicing in for the score.
Boy, he took his time, didn't he? You know, you're down near the goal line. He didn't panic and cut it up too quick. Took it outside, and guess who made the block that got him in the end zone?
Larry Fitzgerald.
I mean, we haven't shown a lot of his blocks tonight, but he has done a great job. Comes across the formation. Number 11 on the outside. Pushes off one, gets to the next. And that was the block that let Johnson turn it up and score with. Well, look at Gresham drove his guy way back in the backfield.
Boy, just handing the Cardinals a touchdown out of the locker room. The fumble on the kick returned and the running into the kicker on the field goal attempt. And the Cardinals take the lead at 14-7. Their 2 touchdown drives tonight, 21 and 14 yards. The fumble, the field goal taken off the board, and then Johnson takes it home for the score. Going back to the end of the first half as you look up the way toward San Francisco. Beautiful night. Cashing in on both takeaways and going back to the end of the first half. 2 touchdowns in 3 minutes and 55 seconds on the game clock. Bring it out to the 25. And tonight's Next Gen Stats brought to you by Verizon. Welcome to Verizon LTE Advanced, the Next Gen network.
think a couple things. I thought I would see more option football and reads by the quarterback and running backs tonight. We haven't seen that. And one thing I'm not surprised by is that the 49er wide receivers would have a tough time getting open against some very good defensive backs. Jeremy Curley, the exception, been going against Tyrann Mathieu. And I'd say overall, he's won that battle tonight.
Look at the zone read sliding down. It looked like it might go for a lot, but it's only for 4 for Gabbert.
A couple years ago, these plays would have gone for a lot, but now all the teams have seen it so much, they work a lot on it, and we see that time the safeties react so fast, and good block on the outside by Joe Staley.
Gabbert has actually run it 7 times for 34 yards. Almost 5 a pop.
They need to run it just to keep this defense honest and maybe slow down the pass rush.
Well, they run it here. And trying to run down the line and find a crease that's not there. Hyde loses a yard.
You know, really, to Chip Kelly, he'd like to get this thing going faster, but to get it going faster, you got to get some good runs and pick up a first down to get it rolling. So that's the tough thing. And one decent run, then nothing. All of a sudden, here you are, 3rd and long. And can you block them? And can you handle the blitz?
Well, Gabbert on 3rd down is 1 for 4 with a pick and sack 3 times. Gets the completion, but for no gain. Alex Okafor, he's had a big night. Brings down Hyde, and this crowd is growing restless.
Yeah, Alex Okafor, little blitz, picked up. James Betcher says, yeah, that's it. We've shown it. They love the blitz. Put man-to-man coverage. They got the guys can do it. Quarterback gets rid of it quick. Good tackle.
Pinion. This is returnable from the 20 at a 10-yard start on the coverage. And he's met after a run back of about 10. John Brown, 52-yard boot. Arizona with 14 unanswered. Now leading it by 7. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by Walmart. This Halloween, save on candy, costumes, and more at Walmart. Wendy's new grilled chicken sandwich. And by your local Lexus dealer and the pursuit of perfection. TNF Santa Clara opening up week 5 of the NFL campaign. Each of these teams at 1 and 3. There is Johnson for 5 more. He had the touchdown on his previous carry. Let's go to the CBS iVision cameras to give you a little different look at it.
Yeah, look at the Jermaine Gresham push him back. Larry Fitzgerald seal it off. David Johnson on the touchdown.
Saw John Brown way on the outside, also shielding his defender with a nice block.
Patience is a virtue. That's what he had on that play.
Up to 80 yards and 17 carries. Make it 18 carries for a lot more. Look at Johnson taking the defender with him. Ball squirts out at the end. He recovers it. That's 23, so he's over 100 with that 18th attempt.
Well, they worried about that time Ahmad Brooks up the field because he was worried about the quarterback keep. So that and the fact that the offensive line just pushed everybody to the left opened up that big hole for Johnson.
Well, we've got a Cardinal lineman walking gingerly to the sideline, and it's Mike Iupati, who started his career with San Francisco as their 1st-round pick in 2010 and joined the Cardinals as a free agent a year ago. Tracy, let's while we have a moment, let's send it down to the sideline.
Well, Jim, you mentioned Mike Iupati walking off gingerly, but Evan Mathis questionable with an ankle injury, so they do not have their right guard either as well right now, Jim.
So Earl Watford has come in on the right side, and John Wetzel takes Iupati's place.
Yeah, Watford's played a little bit. Mathis has been hurt.
Here's a 1st down from San Francisco territory. Stanton Looking for options. And he's got Fitzgerald again, who wanted the catch to be marked a little bit ahead, but they'll give him 9 instead of 10.
Fitzgerald down here at the bottom. Watch him work all the way around. No pass rush. Good job by Drew Stanton moving in the pocket. What a job by Larry Fitzgerald coming back and just making sure nobody was going to cut underneath that throw to intercept it.
2nd and less than a yard. Mickey Johnson to pick it up. Make that Ellington. Andre Ellington for no gain.
You know, the one thing, and I thought we would see tonight, meant to talk about it earlier, is just, you know, you got Drew Stanton in there making his first start, and Bruce Arians said it to Tracy Wolfson, man, we got to slow him down. And like I talked about, easy completions. I thought we'd just see more play action passes. When they throw play action in St. Louis, the Arizona Cardinals, they're great at it. They just don't do it enough.
Third and 1, and give him a new set of downs. Is plowing ahead as Ellington. Stanton's in his 10th year. He came out of the 07 draft class as one of 11 quarterbacks drafted. It is pretty amazing. He's the only one still in the league. From the 07 draft, the 11 quarterbacks taken. Stanton was taken in the 2nd round by the Lions.
Yep, I remember they drafted him. Matt Millen did. They liked him, you know, had a good career at Michigan State. Liked him just because he's he says, hey, he's a tough guy. He'll be great if he plays. Loved his personality.
And here he launches it toward the end zone, and again, it's Larry Fitzgerald with the touchdown catch.
Well, that time they did a play action pass to give Drew Stanton extra time, and what a sell by Larry Fitzgerald. Watch him go down the field, inside, outside, then up. Shoot, who could cover that? And that was an excellent throw. Didn't underthrow it. Threw it with power. Great accuracy, too. Some move, huh?
Some player, Fitzgerald.
Yep.
Now 16 career touchdown receptions against the 49ers. Extra point is good. Fitzgerald now up to has 6 catches for 81 yards and a pair of touchdowns. And they put up 3 touchdowns overall in 9 minutes of action. Well, in the Bud Light can competition, the 49er can has taken the lead. Vote now at NFL.com/Bud
Well, you know,
Light.
This game's driving them to drink. Watching their team make these.
Well, there you go.
I don't know. It's not funny. It really isn't.
Well, they have given up now 21 points since the last 2 minutes of the first half. Davis fumbled it the last time he tried to run it out. Time he holds on, that ball comes out, but he seemed to be down well in advance of that.
Well, Jim, the touchdown, they keep everybody in. They're looking for the score here the whole time. Watch how they block everybody up, and then watch Larry Fitzgerald move all around and make a double move, inside, out, then up. Brock has no chance. The extra protection allows him time to make the throw. And watch Drew Stanton, doesn't panic, didn't like the left. That little pump fake bought him some time. And you know, you've heard me say it.
Got a player down, Phil. It's Chris Davis, the returner. He was trying to hobble to the sideline and then went to the ground. We'll be right back. Chris Davis was helped off the field, and during that commercial break, the crowd began to chant, "We want Cap."
Yep. Didn't last long, but they did start.
And handoff to Hyde. Squirts ahead for a gain of 5. But it was Hyde's taunting penalty when things suddenly change. You heard Chip Kelly reference it during the interview going to the locker room with Tracy. They were up 7-0 inside 2 minutes. He had just picked up a first down. Then a couple of plays later, the tip ball, the interception, and then the touchdown 1 play later. It's completely changed since that penalty call. Curley able to whip that ball around to elude a defender, and he's got a first down. Kevin Can Wait, TV's #1 new comedy. See what everybody's laughing about. Catch Kevin James in a new Kevin Can Wait. That's Monday after the Big Bang Theory, only CBS. So Davis being carted in as San Francisco has a first down. Gabbert tucks it under, takes off his longest run of the night for 11.
Yep, nice play, good read. I was saying earlier, that's Tony Jefferson on a blitz. His job, stay outside in case the quarterback keeps it. Didn't do it. Good job by Blaine Gabbert. And can they throw it to anybody else besides Jeremy Curley?
Hyde up ahead to the 50. He's had a couple of good bursts here this series, gain of 6.
Yeah, I think where they wanted to run the football, you see him behind the quarterback instead to the side. They want to let Carlos Hyde use more power and run downhill. And I said, all right, what does downhill mean? I hear this, all these, stay in square, just like we saw there, and just let everybody go straight ahead and run the football.
Tried to go downhill, but ran into a wall. Includes Chandler Jones. He made the point a moment ago about can they throw it to anybody other than Curley. Hyde has 4 catches out of the backfield.
Right, he does.
And Curley has 6 catches, including a touchdown, but no one else on the entire 49er roster has a catch.
Yep.
Just a running back and 1 wide out.
Kind of what I saw when you watch the games or the films and the games on TV coming into this, that Blaine Gabbert got to take advantage of every opportunity because there's not enough of them.
That's a 3rd and 1 carry by Mike Davis, and that's enough for the first down.
Now they got these first downs. Now they can kind of get this pace going and tire out the defense. Maybe they'll make a mistake.
Is this 49er offense as fast as you thought it would be, or not so much so?
Well, you know what? I'm so used to seeing it over the years in college and in the pros that you know what I mean? When they first did it his first year in Philadelphia, we hadn't seen that in the NFL.
It made an impression, but now
you see it from all teams at one time or another.
Offside. Number 44 defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, you talked about Jeremy Curley. Tyrann Mathieu has covered him in the slot all night long. First time he blitzed, got to the quarterback. That was good by Mathieu. But here, how about this? See him in the slot, get turned around by Jeremy Curley. Good throw.
Those next gen stats presented by Verizon. And now the 49ers get ready to snap it from the 40 of Arizona. 1st and 5, and Davis swallowed up by Marcus Golden after 2. Second and 3 as Gabbert continues to look to the sideline.
Well, they wait
to as well.
Yeah, we see it. They're waiting to see the coverage. Then they call the play.
Let's go. Move Torrey Smith over to the left side as Gabbert able to escape and take off inside the 20 and down to the 14. 24-yard run by Gabbert.
If he'd had time, he was going to get a touchdown. That play was designed to throw it to Mike Davis out of the backfield. And the defender fell down, but the pressure came on him, so he had to pull it down and run. Great run by Gabbert. But if protection was better, it would have been a touchdown.
Well, the match is the longest play of the night for the 49ers as they operate in the red zone. With Hyde back in. Hyde with the handle to the 10. With NFL Game Pass, watch the games you missed with condensed games in 45 minutes or the full broadcast versions. Start a free trial today at NFL.com/Game Pass. So, second down. We'll call it 6 at the Arizona 10. Driven at 72 yards to get to this point.
All the defenders way off. Looks like it could be a blitz.
Has a man, and down at the 1 is Quentin Patton. Oh, he tried to go low and find it. He stopped about a yard short.
Well, it was just the opposite. They were all back off, and they played a soft zone.
They got another target on the board with a catch now.
Got somebody else involved.
Here's the handoff to Hyde, and he fights for it and gets it. Touchdown, San Francisco. Scoring a touchdown now in his 3rd consecutive game.
Well, that's some of that downhill running we talked about. Just straight ahead, shoulder square, breaks the tackle of Williams inside. And this is really what, Carlos Hyde just said, look, this is the way he wants to run the football. He ran the spread offense, of course, at Ohio State under Urban Meyer. And I think he prefers to be right where he is, going straight ahead.
Bill Dawson adds 1 point. Oh, got a flag flying in. Got a flag.
Holding. Number 88 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the try.
But when you were playing, you never thought you'd be seeing a 43-yard extra point try one day.
No, I did not. And I told you a couple of weeks ago, I hated this rule when they brought it into the NFL last year. But I've grown to like it.
Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot of games.
Just talking to Jay Feely, he says it, no question. The rhythm of the extra point and the confidence, just like a little short pass does to a quarterback, the confidence of kicking extra points, that's gone now.
So Dawson to earn it again. And he does. Old reliable. That's longer than any field goal he's made this year. As long as field goal's been 39. Shakes his head, says, hey guys, don't ask me to make 43-yard extra points all the time. Niners trim it to 7. NFL Thursday Night Football, sponsored by Warner Brothers Pictures, The Accountant, in theaters October 14th. And by Tostitos Chips and Dips. Bring the party. And let's bring on a round of applause for Coach Matt Keasley, 49ers head coach. The 49ers recognizing him as their coach of the week, celebrating his 30th year at Piedmont Hills High School. His 19th as a head coach there at that school in San Jose. Way to go, Coach Keasley. So they had 59, look at the season, 8 touchdowns rushing, 6 of them by Hyde. It's more than they had all of last season. They had 59 on the ground on that drive, including the big 24-yard run by Gabbert. Our Jay Feely gets to start tonight in our Throwback Thursday. The former Cardinal, listen.
And they fake it. Feely, touchdown! And the Jay Feely show continues. Jay Feely, who has accounted for all of the Arizona points. Jay Feely, 22, Denver 3.
Jay Feely. How about that? He scored a touchdown and had 5 field goals.
He did the Lambeau leap. He's just carrying too much luggage to get up there.
Oh, and that was a opportunity there for Hakeem Valise, just brought up. Jay Feely's down on the sideline. Jay, that was an epic night for you, or epic game for you against Denver.
It sure was. I think my career rushing average might be better than Phil's, though.
Wouldn't take that much, would it?
Hey, wait, what are you talking about?
But he keeps telling everybody he's a 1,000-yard career rusher, which
he is. I looked it up. He is. We got a good game here going on, though. We're going to see some kicks I think are going to have an impact on this game.
All right, Jay. Thank you for that. And
play action pass wide open. A couple of them tonight.
2nd and 10. Go back to old reliable Fitzgerald with A flag tossed in.
Could be a little a pick maybe just because he was so wide open.
Pass interference. Number 89 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Tough sequence for Hakeem Belize. Again, just brought up. He dropped the pass and gets flagged for that one. Wiping up a big gain. Good morning, football. NFL Network's fresh news start to your day. See it tomorrow. Which unbeaten team is most likely to fall on Sunday? They'll discuss that. It's tomorrow at 7 a.m. Good morning, football. NFL Network. The unbeaten's Minnesota and Denver and Philadelphia. So that takes away a 16-yard gain. And 2nd and 20. Look at Johnson. He almost just slows down to just a walk. And then trying to juke out.
He's really just such a different looking runner. Little delayed draw. And just kind of waiting to see, showing that patience if there's a block that he likes where he can cut it back. That's what he's looking for. Didn't materialize, but
he's having a good game, Phil.
Yeah, well, he's having a good career. It's short so far, but boy, productive, excellent receiver. Terrific, of course, as a running back. Big down for the 49ers here.
Yeah, 3rd and 9 for the Cardinals. The sideline and incomplete. Leaping for it was Jerron Brown, but Brock was there with him to help tap it away, and they'll have to punt.
Yeah, not fooled at all that time. Jermaine Brock.
Flag.
Offside. Number 98 defense lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
Ronald Blair.
Here he is. Definitely, he's not in the neutral zone. He's offsides. I mean, his helmet is past the ball. The neutral zone is the football. He went all the way. So they'll let you get away with nudging that football a little bit. I think they do a lot. But that was egregious.
Egregious.
Hey, first time I've ever said that.
Egregious offside. Yeah. I'm proud of you. Here's a 3rd and 4. And a blitz. Pass away. And the 49ers defense rises to that moment. Intended again for Jerron Brown.
Yeah, with Johnson on the coverage, and man, he was in great position. Just trailing, knew he had somebody deep, so.
Here's Quigley with a spiral and another flag up at the 40-yard line as Hurley gets chased out by Moma. 55-yard punt. And we got a little bit of a shoving match going on for a moment.
Yep. Another penalty flag thrown, so.
Got 2 different fouls coming up. I told you to never fear. A good game was going to break out here tonight.
No, I wasn't afraid of that. You know, I think the fact that, well, let's hear the call first.
I don't think they know for sure exactly what the call is quite yet.
There are fouls by both teams on the play. During the kick, holding number 11 of the receiving team. After the play was over, unnecessary roughness, number 10 of the kicking team. Those fouls will offset at the spot where the kick was caught. 14-yard line, 1st down.
There's the hold on the outside for Quentin Patton.
Whoop.
Yep, and the headbutt, that'll do it every time.
There's a whole lot going on with just Patton being held by a couple of players. Looked like a dance routine for a moment. And then a rather aggressive headbutt, and San Francisco goes back to the 14. Already, though, with 2 touchdown drives tonight of 80+. There's Hyde. breaking Cooper's tackle. And he's able to sprint to the sideline for about 8. Week 5 of the season continues Sunday on CBS and Fox. Check your local listings for the game in your area, the likes of which include Tom Brady's return game at Cleveland. That'll be on CBS, and the Eagles undefeated at Detroit on Fox. Check your local listings. 2nd and 1. Final 10 seconds of quarter number 3. Look at Hyde. Finally able to fall across the sticks in 2-yard gain and the first down. As we head to the 4th. Arizona on top 21-14. Back after this message and a word from your local station. We had a scoreless first quarter, but then things started to heat up late in the second. We begin the 4th. Jim Nantz, Bill Sims, Tracy Wilson, Jay Feely. Niners with a first down throw, and it's intercepted down the sideline and shoved out as Marcus Cooper. As Gabbard is picked off for the 2nd time tonight.
Boy, Marcus Cooper just read it perfectly. It looks like he's going to be open down the field, and he just cuts underneath. Watched the quarterback the whole time. And when he threw the football, I thought it was going to be open too to Curley.
Might be one of those, I don't want to say game-changing because Arizona's got the lead, but the 49ers had the football, chance to drive and score as they had on their previous possession and possibly tie this game. But instead, Arizona sets up shop at the 24 off the pick. Play action, Stanton. Didn't have the time to find his target. Able to unload it as Gresham, the former Cincinnati tight end, is tossed out of bounds, pick up a 4.
Yeah, it's Aaron Lynch that gets the pressure on the outside that disrupts the play. But Drew Stanton, you know, the one thing, no, he's not Carson Palmer throwing the ball, but he does move around pretty well and has made some plays tonight by just avoiding the rush and keeping the play alive.
Cardinals again operating without both starting guards. Iupati and Mathis both remain out injured. And that's a gain of 2 for Johnson.
Now, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. Bruce Arians, he's looking up at that scoreboard. 4th quarter, up by 7. He knows a field goal, how important it would be.
Stanton goes to the risk for this play. He's thrown 2 touchdowns tonight, both of them to Larry Fitzgerald. Third and 4. And that's wide of the mark for Johnson. Catanzaro is going to come out for the field goal attempt. Be about a 36-yard field goal try. Remember, he made one early in the 3rd quarter, but was roughed on the kick. They took the points off the board.
Led to a touchdown.
Led to a touchdown right after that.
Yep. Drew Stanton maybe had that last throw, but he did the smart thing. He played it really careful, not trying to fit it in there, because managing the game the proper way.
With a 10-point lead, Catanzaro's kick is good. And the Cardinals have 17 points tonight off 3 takeaways, the 2 picks, and the fumble at the start of the 3rd.
You're watching NFL Thursday Night Football.
These teams are 1st and 2nd in takeaway points this year in the league. And with Arizona putting up 17 takeaway points tonight, they overtake the 49ers for best in the league in that statistical category. This driven to the back of the end zone and out to the 25 and down to the sideline. Tracy.
Well, thanks, Jim. New Orleans rookie wide receiver Mike Thomas on a bye this week, watching the game, taking some notes tonight as he watches the veteran Larry Fitzgerald make play after play. Not a bad guy to be watching. Right, Jim?
No question. Teaching me some stuff. Can't guard Mike is his handle.
Wow. Well,
can't guard Larry.
Can't guard Larry. Where is Larry? They've done a terrific job with him, moving him, using him in so many roles.
On the head, that's Hyde. Series starter for 6.
You got to admit, now watch this. I like these runs. This is, you can hear the hit. You can see the power.
Down the line. And does a good job to get it back to no gain. Can you imagine being a quarterback in this league with 7 head coaches in 6 years, and then you think about guys who have had the exact opposite of that?
Well, think about a guy like Tom Brady, who basically has been in the same system his whole career. I mean, you know, Aaron Rodgers, same. You know, of course, Ben Roethlisberger's had some different coordinators, some different thoughts, but they've adapted to him. So, yeah, look, you know, to have success in this league, you got to know these systems inside and out. It takes continuity.
3rd and 4. Can't get away, and Arizona dumps him back at the 28. It's Golden again.
Well, Marcus Golden really having a great night, but it's not the pass rush that time. It's the coverage. And I didn't see anybody open. And as you watch the replay, there's nowhere to throw the football. So Blaine Gabbert's been very good with his legs tonight. Tries to escape, and good job by the D-line staying in their lane, so there was nowhere to go.
Boy, Marcus Golden.
Hey, lining him up differently tonight than I've seen in previous games. And great move by the Cardinals defense.
Bearcat signal around at the 24. 4 sacks tonight by the Cardinals defense, all of them coming on 3rd down situations. Fitzgerald with a couple of touchdown catches. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by T-Mobile. Ditch your carrier and switch to the uncarrier. GMC, we are professional grade. And by Lowe's, make your home happy. Here's the museum at the stadium. All the memorabilia from the storied history of the 49ers. 5-time Super Bowl champions. First down run. Galloping for a moment. And all the way across the 40. Posted some numbers here tonight. 134 and a touchdown.
Yeah, you with 2 backup guards in there. That was a great job that time, too. Just the extra effort of A.Q. Shipley, the center. Boy, David Johnson is impressive looking. You know, I talked about it. Did he, you know, we were talking about his style. He just runs heavy-footed. That foot is in the ground, so he makes those really sharp cuts. And because he's so planted in the ground, breaks a lot of tackles because he has balance and strength.
You first said to him, you know, you run heavy-footed, and he wasn't sure you were paying him a compliment.
I know he did, yeah.
And he looked at me as if to say, you know, Nance's the guy who runs heavy-footed. But then you explained what that meant.
Yeah, and then he goes, you're right. You know, and when I say heavy-footed, it's almost like they run flat-footed.
Right.
So it's always there, and they got that balance on that one leg, and it's, of course, I mean, that's why it kind of reminds me of Franco Harris when the way he ran. I mean, you know, you didn't wrap him up. That big body was not coming down.
2nd and 6. They get to him this time, right on the exchange. Larry Fitzgerald, the other star of this offense tonight, 6 catches, 81 yards, Phil, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, first off, he's blocking, and then we've seen many really good blocks tonight when he's in the formation. Double move, gets the touchdown, and I know what you just said. He catches the ball. It makes it look so easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, the suction cup look. You know, that one we saw from the far end zone, the touchdown, the way he just put his hands out there, perfection. There you see the distribution with the wideouts. And a tight end in there, Gresham. Well as Johnson's receptions. And back, speaking of Johnson. There's that little stutter step gallop. And he's got another big gainer. And by the way, he's for the 5th consecutive game, he's over 100 scrimmage yards. In fact, he's got it again on the ground alone. That's 21 picked up on the catch and run.
Well, they got it on the outside. Here it comes. They're going to blitz, but they can't pull off quick enough. As he tries to pull off, he slips and falls. So that was one of those plays. They go, if they blitz, don't worry about picking him up. Just run by him. And Bethea was not ready for it. You don't always have to pick up the blitz. Sometimes put the pressure on them to cover you. That's what they did.
They mix it up here with Ellington. Gets a couple. And the clock approaching 9 minutes to go. Johnson and Fitzgerald together accounting for 246.
Pretty good duo, I'll tell you that. You know, every year I think, well, they'll phase Larry Fitzgerald out a little this year. That's just not happening.
That's
honestly,
what all the fantasy experts, by the way, said coming into the draft. Oh, you don't want to go there.
Hey, look, I'll tell you, Jim, you always think they got to slow down. But when I watched him this year getting ready, I'm like, boy, he's still got it. It's faster this year than he did last year.
He does. And it was a great year last year. Ellington for another 5. Sunday, the NFL on CBS, a big-time doubleheader. The Jets, Pittsburgh, has the biggest audience at 1 o'clock, but don't forget you've got other action like Houston against undefeated Minnesota and Brady, his return at Cleveland. The main doubleheader game, Cincinnati battling the Cowboys. All get started at 12 noon Eastern with the NFL today. Tennessee, Miami, by the way, there's some possibilities there that because of the hurricane possibility that game possibly will be relocated, we're being told. Here's the 3rd and 3 and a wiggle and a first by Ellington. Nice piece of running that time.
Yeah, they just do a great job. The wide receivers, Bruce Arians just makes them and wants them to do outside blocking's good, but a good job again by Jermaine. Gresham sealing the inside. Fitzgerald comes in and gets a block on Tart. I got to go back to something you said earlier about Larry Fitzgerald. The fantasy talk or whatever.
No, the experts, you know, all these mock drafts that you
listen to that, huh?
You participate in.
Okay, I was like,
they all had them.
I got to admit, I haven't heard
way down on the list. There's Ellington. I knew better.
I know he did.
Great value to the 20.
Well, look, they got to hold them to a field goal. That's the whole key here, because you look at that clock, it's ticking away, of course. And the best that San Francisco can hope for is 2 more possessions in this game.
And 2nd and 7. Gresham over to the right side. Johnson near the 10, and he is near the highest single rushing total of the year in the league thus far. He's up to 146. Devontae Freeman, 152, has the biggest one so far. How about that cut, huh?
Yeah, it was beautiful. You know, you got it too there. Listen, this defense by the 49ers, last in the NFL against the rush. Navarro Bowman out, DeForest Buckner. Tracy Wilson talks about that early in the game. That's a factor. They're getting tired.
New set of downs from the 11. There's Johnson. Picked up an effortless 6, didn't he?
Yep, did it. You know, it's hard to believe why they put these receivers and they put them near the line of scrimmage like he did that time. Larry Fitzgerald and Brown crossed each other and blocked because they want to make defensive backs have to make the tackle. So the line can push it one way, the receivers do their blocking, and Bruce Arians is right. Make the little guys try to tackle a big guy like David Johnson.
This drive has lasted 6.5 minutes. And it's 2nd and 4. From the 5. Johnson somehow comes out of the pack. It's like they're going to mark him short of the first. He's just eclipsed Freeman now for the best rushing performance so far of this young season.
Yeah, just watch the wide receivers blocking. Jared Valdir got a great block on the outside too. And Bruce Arians learned from Bill Cowher, that whole coaching staff, a whole tree.
There he is again, and he leaps across for another score. David Johnson, 2-yard touchdown plunge.
Well, they ran away from the formation that time, and it caught the San Francisco 49ers off guard. Look at everybody going to the right on the defensive side. That little cutback is all he needed to score. But Bruce Arians, Bill Cowher, they learned and taught a lot of coaches that wide receivers block the extra guy, you know, as that 8-man front of whatever you want to say, and they've done it for many years. They've done it well.
Zero makes it a 17-point margin. 76-yard drive, 55 of which came on the ground. Arians celebrates. His team's up 31-14. Well, the Cardinals come back and win the vote. Bud Light, beer with your team on it. How about those numbers?
Yeah, beautiful numbers. And, you know, look, David Johnson, what did he say last night? He's still mad the fact that nobody recruited him to the major colleges, and he said he used it this whole time at Northern Iowa, and he's brought it with it that chip on his shoulder to the NFL.
Mike Davis not going to run it out. Well, here you are in the heart of the Big Ten, if you will. Plus you got Iowa State, Big 12 right north of you. And you come out and end up being a third-round draft pick and a star in this league in the making.
The ball did not completely come out of the end zone. It is a touchback.
Cardinals were curious if Davis had possibly gone across that plane too far. NFL Thursday Night Football sponsored by Verizon. Welcome to Verizon LTE Advanced, the next-gen network, and by McDonald's. I'm loving it. The old cable car system, still a beautiful part of the city by the bay. Here's a first down pass play. Gabbert able to unload it. It's Hyde dropping down after 6.
Well, the game's not over, but it is 3 scores. And my advice to Blaine Gabbert is what, Jim Nance?
Do not throw another interception.
Don't throw gasoline on the fire. You got it.
Now, that's an obvious, but your reasoning behind why at this point in a game. You think about that more than you normally do.
Yes, I think about it for him.
Next Thursday, again, your weekend will start here when the Broncos battle the Chargers. Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network. Always a good rivalry twice a year. We're happy to have it next Thursday from San Diego.
Yep, Chargers always play them tough. But, you know, to go back to that, people don't care when you throw it, whatever. It's just another, oh, you threw 3 interceptions, that cost us the game. So that's why I say you got to protect yourself. Sorry I got to say this. Politically, you almost have to protect yourself as a quarterback sometimes in the NFL.
4th down coming up.
Does that make sense?
Well, again, you're going to get back to what the lead's going to be the next day if you start piling up picks late in the game.
Yes, that's right.
And if it says so-and-so, so-and-so threw 3 interceptions or 4 interceptions.
That's why they lost.
Yep. Yes. Not that the interceptions tonight were not impactful here, though.
I got you.
Okay?
Yeah, they were. Extremely.
Those last 2 plays actually go in the books as sacks. They went for no gain. Gabbert run out of bounds at the line of scrimmage. So that's 2 straight sacks, giving the Cardinals now 6 for the night. Minter get help to the sideline. Yeah, tonight the the third quarter, the way this second half began with a strip and a recovery by the Cardinals on the third quarter kickoff.
Right.
Chris Davis of the 49ers coughing it up, and then
running in the kicker.
And that leading to a touchdown.
Of course, then the big interception that the true, you know, Kevin Mentor too. I talked about that. This middle linebacker stays out there basically every play of every game. So tough to do.
Here's Gabbert. Fourth down, and it's caught, held on to beautifully by Patton. He was walloped by Gabe Martin and held on. Catch almost got away from him, but they're able to stay on the field. Yeah, takes the underneath option for 8 more to Hyde.
You know, really a lot of good things for the Arizona Cardinals too. One, the running game, they really got that flying. But Tyrann Mathieu, the fact that he played the slot receiver up near the last scrimmage blitz, that's a big deal for this defense going down as the season goes along.
Hit when he threw it. That was Chandler Jones coming up on Gabbert.
Well, obvious passing situations. Talked about Chandler Jones. He's their best pure pass rusher, no question. They move him around a lot. They tried, and tonight.
3rd and 2. That's another sack. And now the Cardinals, flag out. Cardinals have more sacks than any team in the league. Of course, they played one more game, but they're with number 7 here if this holds up.
Number 32 defense, 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Okay, well not, but they're tied with the Broncos for most, with Denver having played one fewer game.
Yeah, they get their sacks. They're a lot like Denver in this way. They can blitz and not have to worry about receivers running all over the field wide open because they got so many good cover guys. And one of them is Patrick. When you look out there, Patrick Peterson.
Face mask.
Yeah, face mask.
Chandler Jones reached in. And that'll put the football on the Arizona side of the field once they mark it off.
Say Patrick Peterson, I think, has been thrown out one time the whole night.
That's a lot of respect.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Gets around the edge, grabbed it. Now, I never would understand the theory, hey, we're not afraid of so-and-so. We're going to attack their strength. Now, why would you want to attack their strength? Isn't the idea is to find where it's weak and take advantage of that? So, 49ers knew better than to throw a lot of footballs towards number 21.
3 minutes to go. And now at the 34 of the Cardinals. Curley. Oh boy, he faked out Marcus Cooper. Cardinals coming up with the Jets. That means Todd Bowles comes back to Arizona, where he was a great assistant.
Right.
Seattle, that's a home game. At Carolina, and then into the bye. And then out of that, they'll be hosting the 49ers on November 13th. First and 10. Selleck.
When you look at this game here tonight, Tim, and just the 49ers, a couple things. The offensive line, that has to worry you going down the road. You know, you're going to, no matter how good you run the ball, you're always going to get in obvious passing situations in the NFL. And they have a tough time protecting the quarterback and their rush defense.
Curley again.
The rush defense has been the worst in the NFL, and that's not going to improve after this week.
Curley goes over 100 with that catch. That's the first time the 49ers have had a wide receiver with a 100-yard game in 15 games.
All right, let's go.
Curley that time not quite ready.
Second and 10 at the Arizona 12.
Second and 10. Oh, it was it? Yeah, it was. Intercept. No, they say incomplete.
Oh, boy.
Swearinger.
Swearinger just in the middle of the field reading the quarterback, and not a good decision by Blaine Gabbert. Selleck is on the outside, and he throws the football too far inside, and Swearinger gets in there and
you can see the ball.
Yep.
Fell to the ground.
Dropped an interception. I think Blaine Gabbert saw it and just said, hey, I'm just going to overpower the throw to get it there before Swearinger could make a play on it.
Third and 10. They rush 6. Get it away. Caught by Blake Bell. And now you're down 3 scorers. You got 4th down coming up. Well, do you go ahead and say?
No, you go for the touchdown.
Okay. 2-minute warning. 4th down coming up right after the break. Coming up next, the Mazda post-game show with analysis and highlights. Plus David Johnson stops by the set. It's all coming up on the Mazda post-game show.
Expecting blitz. They're going to get it. Kept 2 guys in the backfield. One Selleck, the tight end. Carlos Hyde, the running back.
Again, it's 4th down. They bring everybody just about to the end zone, and he just had, got a flag. Got a flag. And Arians is saying, what? Where?
He had the blitzer and the chaser, as Jerry Glanville would say.
Pass interference, number 32 defense. That foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic. First down.
Well, they're not going to like that call. Tyron can't believe it.
Here comes the blitzer. Here comes the chaser. Tony Jefferson, so he has to get rid of the football quick.
Arians furious as well.
On the outside, you could see not much going on there, and that was a tough call against Tyrann Mathieu.
With the football is Gabbert, and the touchdown.
Well, besides Jeremy Curley, well, everybody just chasing the run down inside, expect them to try to power it in there, but Blaine Gabbert's had a good night running the football.
70 yards on the ground.
70 yards rushing.
Thrown for 162, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. And Dawson makes it a 10-point margin. 1:52 to go. And all 3 timeouts for the 49ers, as no doubt the onside kick will be coming up next. We saw the Arizona schedule. We're not going to put anything final until it's final, but you get to 2 and 3, and now you got a couple of home games coming up. This is a team that at 1 and 3, you're thinking they've lost as many games as they did all of last season.
Yeah.
But this is still a team that's, as you look at Arians last night, he says, I still like my roster.
Well, he's got a good roster. He's got stars out there that can make plays to win games, which we have saw tonight. And don't you think they were a little shaken by the 1 and 3 start? I mean, I could feel it with the football team. I think it showed early in the game. They played nervous and everything, and then they finally got some breaks to go their way, and you could kind of see their swagger coming back. That's what they are.
Well, they had all of those games that last year they won, last possession wins. You think about the New England game and how they had a field goal at the end from 47 yards that was missed. You know, those were all a year ago. Those situations went their way.
They made them, yes.
Jay Feely, let's bring in here, set us up. Onside kick.
Jim, teams are only 1 of 11 so far this year. Phil Dawson, a respectable 6 of 32. He's got a bag of tricks. He's got all kinds of different kicks. He once even kicked it with the back of his heel backwards in the Pro Bowl.
Can you tell where he's going here, Jay?
He's going to go to his right, probably on the ground. Middle roll.
Look up to jump on it is Golden.
Yeah, you
just signed him.
Got a bag of tricks. Didn't quite get what he wanted, I would think, Jay. You want that ball to hang on the ground where it's much tougher. He got the good bounce up.
You're right. You're exactly right, Phil. He wants that ball low on the ground. They don't want it to hop up because then it's easy to recover.
You know, Jay, we showcased you in the Throwback Thursday with your 5 field goals and touchdown run. What was your onside kick?
I like to hit a high hop one. I like to come back to the middle. You know, mine were about equal to Phil's. The average NFL is only 20% recovery rate.
Timeout called by San Francisco. That was Taylor on the carry. And again, David Johnson will be on the set after the game on the Mazda post-game show. Hope you get a chance to see him. We had a great visit with that young man yesterday. If you do watch it, you will be impressed.
Yeah,
not just by what he did on the field here tonight.
Yeah, that's right. The way he talks, the way he handles himself. You know, he breaks tackles, makes people miss. Good receiver out of the backfield.
Second and 6. And that time Taylor is taken back. Bruce Arians is going to feel like finally celebrating his birthday, which fell on Monday. He turned 64. He's going to feel a lot better about things after this one. But it was also his brother-in-law's birthday on Monday. His brother-in-law, Tom Trimmer, who's headed out west for a visit. He's been a little under the weather, and he thinks an awful lot of Tom. And we just wish his brother-in-law, Tom, all the very best. So the second time out called by the 49ers. I said, what'd you do on your birthday? I worked 16 hours in the office, short week.
Yeah.
Got home in time for a steak and a piece of cake.
Doesn't sound that bad, does it?
No.
Oh.
I might do the same after the broadcast. It'll be 8:30 out here.
Well, you do that every day, so you can't.
3rd and 12. Look at this. They go to Floyd. And it is knocked away. Michael Floyd without a catch tonight. Only been thrown to twice. Good piece of defending by Brock. And the iVision 360 camera breaking the plane. This technology right here won an Emmy back in the spring for the George Winslow Award, Best Technical Innovation. And for Super Bowl 50 broadcast, and I can remember James Stewart touchdown from a yard out in that same end zone.
Yes.
And that was the first time people saw it, and it was quite eye-opening for sure. Not trying to play on the iVision. It was something he said, I have never seen that before.
Yes. Oh, so you're telling me. I'm looking forward to the day. I guess they're going to do it something like that would set off or a chip in the football where you don't have to see if the ball crossed the goal line or whatever. That's definitely on its way.
I've been calling for that since we got back into the NFL in '98, and I can remember a Seattle game against the New York Jets. And there was,
oh my gosh!
And I said in the studio they need to put a microchip in the football.
I know the game.
And I took a little bit of heat for that back then. So it's only taken 18 years for me to get one other person now on the team.
So wait, you're telling me you were way ahead of your time?
On that one, I've got the tape.
Okay. That was, I think it was the Vinny Testaverde, right? It cost.
Exactly, Dennis Erickson.
It cost his job.
Yep.
They'd have won that game. They'd have went to the playoffs. If I remember.
You bring the chip and I'll bring the tape. We'll have a party. Put a chip in that football.
Well, let's see what the quarterbacks did tonight.
Give me a wrap up on these two, because we headlined it and built up the game about the matchup of these two guys. Stanton in for Carson Palmer and Gabbert
Well, you know, Drew Stanton did one great thing, did not throw any interceptions and made a couple good throws. And, you know, Blaine Gabbert, the tip pass, unlucky.
Watch out here. That's a safety. Campbell adds to a really good night for him.
And I think that explains Blaine Gabbert's run the ball well tonight, made some good throws, but under a lot of pressure when the game, once they got behind.
Oh, it just had no chance that time.
No chance.
It broke
right.
across that line of scrimmage. Gabbert just had no opportunity to do anything on what was the 7th sack of the game.
What's happened tonight, just like that play there, Corey Peters was so strong, he forced his way in. They had the double teaming, and it frees up the second rusher. We've seen that many times tonight. Marcus Golden got a couple sacks because of it.
Look at Calais Campbell. 2 sacks tonight, including a safety and an interception. We heard some fan feedback here tonight saying, hey, you know, we want Cap. Is this story going to get bigger after this game? The next time they tee it up when they have to head to Buffalo?
I think he'll be the starting quarterback when they go up there.
Who will he?
Blaine Gabbert.
Okay.
I don't think they'll make a change. I mean, you know, look at some of the things that have gone on here tonight. The rush defense, the pass protection. And you're going to sit there and say, oh, this is a quarterback change is going to change all that?
Free kick and a fair catch signal. Peterson. Arizona to 2-3, 1-1 in the division. We got Los Angeles hosting Buffalo this week. Seattle's on a bye at 3-1.
You can get back in it. We see how the league changed fast. You know, go back to the quarterback situation, though, Jim. You know, I got no feeling. I haven't in anything I've read, watching practice, talking to the players, talking to the coach. There's nothing. He even gave me a hint that anywhere close that quarterback change could happen here for the San Francisco 49ers. That's just my opinion.
Well, you were there on the sidelines at practice. You saw what you saw.
Well, I saw Blaine Gabbert taking all the reps, doing all the practice. You know, a lot of encouraging words about him as a teammate, a player. Hey, look, come on. I don't want to hear everybody talk. This guy's got talent. I mean, you see that on the field.
Again, he's in
running, got a good arm. Yeah, he missed some passes tonight. It's not a game of perfection like we make it out to be. So we'll see what Chip Kelly decides to do as they get these 10 days to get ready for the next game.
Arians in Arizona go to 2-3. Chip Kelly and the 49ers lose their 4th in a row. Drop to 1-4. Arizona piles up 172 yards on the ground. They do not commit a single turnover. Clean game for Stanton.
Well, after all the turnovers they have made in the last couple of weeks, that's going to be a big welcome relief also for the Arizona Cardinals.
2 touchdown catches by Larry Fitzgerald. Arizona was scoreless in the first 28 minutes tonight. It ended up with 33 on the board over the last 32 minutes. That's a good team right there that got off to a horrendous start.
Well, you can see, you can just watch Bruce Arians and his body language. What a relief. Like I said, we started the telecast. I think they're shocked that they were 1-3 in that position. Now to get this win, they're an emotional team, man. When they get it going, they can roll.
Well, 10 years in the league, Stanton, he did what he was called on to do. Step in.
That's right.
Palmer being absent. His wife, Kristen, put together a collection of notes from 10 influential people in his 10 years in the league. When camp ended, they sat down one night. She surprised him. She had letters from 10 influential coaches that he had been a part of during his NFL career, and it meant a lot to him.
Yeah, it did mean a lot. Pretty cool of his wife to do that.
Tracy, down to you.
Well, I'm here with Larry Fitzgerald, Mr. Reliable. Once again, you get it done blocking, you get it done receiving. Did you feel the need to step up with just the added pressure of the record and no Carson tonight?
Well, yeah, whenever your leader is down, you know, we miss Carson. I mean, he's our bell cow. But Drew did a great job of stepping in. I don't think anybody pressed. I think everybody understood, you know, getting yourself in a 1-4 hole was something that's pretty much insurmountable. To be able to get to 2-3 really is encouraging.
Well, you said it, so now you're at 2-3. How can you use this to just get back on track? Can you see a difference in the team right now?
Well, yeah, just be able to get a win. I mean, it gives you so much confidence. The guys believe in themselves, and you see, you know, guys on special teams making plays, guys defensively making plays, guys on offense making plays. So it wasn't just one group that got it done today. Everybody put their hand in the pile.
Appreciate it. Good luck in the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
The final score is Arizona 33 and San Francisco 21. Coming up next, the Mazda post-game show.